Everyone,
There we are.
nice to join us today. We are live on Facebook and on Zoom. So we welcome to today's episode. Today is the fifth episode of Solving Gender Inequality using Blockchain Technology. As usual, your host is Rebeca Fernandez and is brought to you by Coin User Trust. Today she have a personality, a guest that she will be introducing. Stay tuned and enjoy the program. Thank you. Rebecca, you're welcome.
Hi, Lee. Thank you so much again for this lovely introduction. Hi, everyone, and who's watching Coin News Extra. As mentioned, we are here today with a very special guest, Misha Hanin. Hi, Misha. How are you today?
Hi, Rebecca. Hey. Good. Thank you for having me here. So, feel good.
Yes, I'm very excited about this conversation, Misha. Just to give a brief introduction of who you are for the people who's watching us. Misha Hanin is the president, co-founder, and CEO of the Deep Dive Group, which represent multiple companies, which is our Deep Dive, iRangers, and Gambrick. And I know that you, Misha, has been working in the IT world for more than 25 years of experience. You are a trusted technology advisor. You speak around the world, and of course, you are let's say a blockchain guru currently for all of us. So I'm sure that I haven't said everything about you. So maybe you can give a little bit, insight to the viewers about yourself.
Thank you for a lovely introduction. So, I'm like some people call me dinosaur. My son calls me dinosaur in technology. I'm actually more than 25 years in the technology field. A lot of experience in cybersecurity, communication, cloud, in the blockchain field since end of 2009, beginning of 2010. It's happened so, traveled around the globe for different purposes, was involved in projects literally over the course of my career, like starting from Australia, China, India, South Africa, Europe, Middle East, United States, Canada, Mexico, Brazil. So literally seen the world through the monitor sometimes. But as I mentioned, a lot of experience in those fields. Last close to 10 years dealing with the business development of the technology companies. And my huge passion is actually digital transformation, but not in the way of the buzzword, how people see it today. Like, unfortunately, I do observe that the digital transformation became a kind of cliche and really buzzword and abused. And a lot of people even don't understand the real meaning of it. Okay, so I took this as my mission. So I'm trying to be evangelist of the digital transformation approach. And actually, I'm not saying I'm helping people to do organizations to do digital transformation. I'm helping those organizations to become digital. Okay, and I can talk about this for probably forever, so let's stop here now.
And it's cool, Misha, because I follow you in LinkedIn for a while, and your posts are very inspiring and insightful, because you always have I think your approach is very smart, because you're trying to change the mindset of many people to be digital, and actually I think it's true that it is not a buzz type of terminology, and it's not to do digital, is to be digital, and that requires a change in the mindset. But I would like to ask you, before we deep dive into more of the discussion and the topic we covered today, which is gender inequality and blockchain. I read the press last week about a press release that Deep Dive Technology Group has the privilege to be partnered with Stan Chen and Recycler Go team for to bring transparency and better decision making to the recycling supply chain in business. First of all, congratulations for that, because I know it's an achievement, and maybe you can give us a little bit more insights about that project.
So this project, it's not the classical supply chain management project. It's actually a project that the way we see it, it's something that will help society around the globe to get better transparency on what's going on in reality with the recycling products. Okay, how the recycling get tracked, what's going on with particular object that we recycled. Was it really recycled? Okay, maybe it just was dumped to the water, to the ocean, or grounded somewhere. And the organization just declared that, oh, we did recycling. So when we studied all this niche, if you will, okay, and all this business, we discovered a lot of kind of underwater stones in this in those activities, and it was one of the reasons why we partnered with Recycle Go, just to bring this transparency to the world. Because people like you and me, we want to know what's going on with this plastic bottle that get recycled. Yes. What the history? How many times this bottle was recycled? Can it be recycled more than one time? And like all the history. What happened with this bottle when it recycled in New York? What the next step? Okay, so we really believe that current situation in the world, especially about recycling, it's, if you ask me, it's I would consider it as a critical. Like we are unable to continue this life as it goes right now. So we need to think about what will be with our planet, even if it sounds like a cliche and a big thing, but I do believe in this. We need to think what will be in 10 years, 20 years from now, okay? Where we are going. I'm a diver, for example. I love diving. Like it's my big passion. When I dive, I want to see corals. I don't want to see plastic bottle there, and I don't want to see another garbage that flows there and kills the beauty of coral reefs. So I take this project really personally, and like it's about passion to really change something in the world, okay, to give some legacy. It's not about, oh, let's take the blockchain and find a use case for it, and like, here it is. And one additional, Me Too blockchain. No, it's even not about blockchain. Blockchain is just a platform. It's a foundation that helps to address the business world, to address the desire, right? It's not about blockchain, definitely not about blockchain. It's about the recycling and about attempt to really save our planet. And I want to enjoy the diving. So this is kind of what we do about it.
I really understand you, Misha, because when I started getting involved in this blockchain project, specifically focusing the gender inequality and closing the gender gap, it's not about technology, it's not about blockchain, it's really make an impact in the world. And as you mentioned, blockchain give us this beauty and facilitate that the transparency and facilitate that how we reorganize the world. And I think the pandemic right now, and I don't like to say this because we know it's something very dramatic that we are living around the world, but it gives us the opportunity to reset and to rethink that. First of all, our system, they are not good enough, they are not working, and things need to change. And to bring transparency, trust, traceability, secureness, and also to bring back this human-centric type of system that it should be how it always be, and link that to your be digital and not do digital. I think that's exactly the blockchain, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And This is why, like back in 2010, when I just started with the blockchain, like I was fascinating from the cryptography perspective and the concept itself. Okay, of course I was involved in crypto and like probably as everybody else learned it, but again, like I was fascinating from the ability that this technology can bring to the world. Okay, and even though like it's already 10 years in the market, I still believe that we even didn't get to the baby steps yet from the possibilities of the blockchain. And I do believe that when enterprises around the globe will really realize the ability of it, of the blockchain, I mean, then a lot of things will start changing. I remember myself, like beginning of 19th, I was on the same on the same road, explaining to enterprises like what possibilities of the internet, why we need to think internet.
Wow.
Not just let's connect to internet, let's think internet. Okay, what can we do with internet? What can we can achieve with just being on the internet? And I remember a lot of pushback, like, oh, Misha, come on, like we have no clients, like it's only for pornography and for hackers. Like we don't want to connect to internet. Wow. I remember those talks, right, a lot. And it took time. It took time to educate those decision makers. It took time to demonstrate the ability, and when business started to see how internet brings value, then adoption started to be like really as a hockey stick. Okay, it started like rapidly. Okay, and even the boom of 2000 didn't kill the adoption of the internet. It just adjusted it. Okay, a lot of kind of wannabe companies and a lot of scam just disappeared, and those companies that survived this .com boom, now we see them like really on a different level. Yes. So I believe in the concept that history has the tendency to repeat.
Yes.
So the blockchain, where what's going on right now, for me is like a deja vu effect. Like, wow, I've seen this before. It's exactly the same situation. I remember when I explained to enterprises why we need internet. Now, like I'm in the same boat and I'm demonstrating like why blockchain is the solution, not for everything. Don't get me wrong. I don't believe that the blockchain is a silver bullet for everything. Not at all. Like we walk away from some of the projects where like we don't see value why business needs this project to be run on a blockchain. So we're just kind of trying to explain like you can do it better outside of blockchain. It can save you much more money. It will bring better value to you. Don't follow the buzz, okay? But in some cases, we really need to explain and demonstrate what the possibilities, okay? So if you ask me, we need to position blockchain as a platform that brings possibilities to open doors and bring kind of extra streams of innovation. It's not even about just, oh, let's make extra $2 here and there. No, it's about a new possibilities to change the business, to change the world. This is how I see it.
And it's funny that you mentioned that, and I like the fact that you was in that conversation when the internet was, starting, I guess, in being like a new technology back on these days, and you remember that it is happening right now with blockchain. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't understand it. What is that? It's Bitcoin. So we need to create awareness, as you mentioned. And for me, for example, because we are heavily involved in the HR, in the human capital blockchain technology, based on my own experience with HR technology, for me, blockchain is the perfect solution because it brings back efficiency, but also justice. So meaning that we have efficiency because we do the transactions, So for example, we are envisioning that we are going to reduce 36% of the recruitment process just because we reduce a whole bunch of paperwork and long processes that are required for hire person. But then in the offer stage is where the pay gap is coming. And I'm sure that you know World Economic Forum, Misha. And the World Economic Forum report every year. This year reported in gender gaps. And it will take us around 100 years to close and to reach gender parity. And it's proof that blockchain can help, just because it brings trust and transparency to what
Trust and transparency, exactly. Because, for example, if somebody applies for the for a position through HR company, how do they know if HR company really submitted his resume or her resume to the organization? Maybe the HR person didn't like this particular person and just throw away the resume. I've seen this in my life.
Yes.
Okay, so with this approach, with the blockchain, everybody who will work with HR company will get even visibility what happened with the resume. Okay, so definitely, like, again, it's all about transparency, right? One of the last researches that was done by Deloitte about blockchain demonstrated that majority of executives right now in big enterprises, and the main value that they see that blockchain brings to their business, it's a security and transparency.
Yeah.
So in every industry where we need to demonstrate the transparency, it's probably one of the use cases where blockchain should be at least validated. Okay.
Exactly.
I'm not saying it's going to be again a solution for everything. No, but evaluated. Yeah, I would say like many organizations should do this.
Yeah, and that's exactly why we should create this awareness, because the people, and again, and I have a lot of conversation with people that they believe that it's just, again, Bitcoin, and they don't think about the possibilities, as you mentioned, that has blockchain. Is more than just Bitcoin, because actually Bitcoin is the first application, and it's more than a technology. It's actually, it really is, it will allow us to restructure the whole world, how we organize. It might be the case that we need to imply a new compliance system because blockchain allows us to do that. It might be the case that our reporting will change. We are creating a specific use case for the gender gap that will be in the offer stage, which is called Gap Tracer. And what we do is exactly that, to measure if your company is gender parity or not. And you need to do something else, right? To do something better. And at the moment, nothing exists in the world. As you mentioned with your recycling project, we don't know where these bottles are going and if they are actually recycled. We need to know, right? Because
exactly.
Otherwise, why I should put my bottle every day or every 2 days in the recycle bin if we don't know where they are going?
Yeah, we need to be responsible on all that. And again, like, it's all about technology. So this is how technology actually changed our life, right? Like I like some analogy. Like one day I was thinking about, like, okay, it was a big, deep meditation about how technology actually changed our life over the course of last technically 2,000 years. Let's think about it. Like at some point, human invented the wheel, right? Then suddenly everything's changed, like how we try, like pushing things, how we traveling. So it actually was the first step for the transportation. Then with the time, we get even the gun. When gun was invented, okay, gun was actually the first step toward inventing the engine. When engine was invented, then we get to the different level, and suddenly, like really close to that period of time, we get to the point that we got machines, we got airplanes. When we get airplane, it was like no time, like on the scale of the thousands years, when we get to the space.
Yes.
So technology actually changed our life drastically. Now with the COVID situation, take a look how much everything around us changed with the COVID situation. All the AI projects, suddenly, even the projects that were on pause or were like barely moving, suddenly we see them like really accelerated.
Yes.
AI, there, ML, there, like blockchain. Like we see a lot of demand right now to those conversations, to those sessions, envisioning sessions, some consultancy, a lot of organizations started to think about it. Like, okay, we probably need to touch it. We need to validate if it really is going to do anything to our business. So life is changing right now. And I do declare that technology brings a huge influence on the way how we live. So
I do agree. And I'm sure that you agree on this, and I want to know your thoughts on this, because I always get asked this question for people like, oh, but if technology is coming, it's going to replace manual work, so we are going to lose jobs. And funny enough, I read an article the other day from Microsoft, funny enough, and they were envisioning that due to COVID, they are reporting that by 25, I think it was, is going to increase 129 millions of new jobs. It's going to be a new jobs creation. And I want to know your thoughts about this, because my answer always is, okay, we know from the Industrial Revolution, as you mentioned, the history tend to repeat, that yes, we can automate processes, and it might be the case that some jobs can be replaced, but there is a new creation of new ones, because we generate new skills, capabilities, we get more efficient in what we do, and actually our brains developed. What are your thoughts in that, Misha?
it's actually a really complicated question.
Yes, okay? I know.
And I will try to answer it also like in a way to kind of demonstrate multiple stages. And it's funny that you asked this question, because I had exactly this conversation just 2 days ago with someone. So first of all, I do believe that probably 70% of jobs currently available on the market of labor, like I would call it heavy duty jobs, probably not by 2025, but let's say 10 years will be eliminated. Okay, human not going to do them. Okay, and I see this as an amazing step. Why? Because technology will replace robotics, all that will take care on these heavy duty things. But I do believe that nobody was born with the dream like, oh, I'm going to grow up and I will be the man who is building I don't know, the highways outside. Why? Okay, our brain is designed for creativity. So those people will get another opportunity to learn something new, to do something new. And I agree 100% with the report that Microsoft declared. It's going to be huge demand for other skills.
Yes.
Again, let's take a look on the history, right? Before even calculator, we didn't, we were using those, you know, things, I even don't remember the name, to calculate. Then we got a calculator, then we got a computer. We don't use the old stuff now to do the calculations. Now we use cell phones to go and do some calculation if we need really fast, okay? Talking about cell phones. Back in the days, to transfer the message, we use birds. That's first of all, we needed to train birds and send them, right? Now we use a cell phone for communication. We're using satellite phones to make calls, okay? So this technology, this evolution created a lot of new jobs. Why to go even far? 50 years ago, programmers, developers, front-end developer, back-end developer, Node.js developer, nobody knew those words 50 years ago.
It's true.
And now, like, we flooded with opportunities to hire, and organizations looking for people with the expertise in those skills. So technology, of course, eliminates a lot of legacy stuff, okay, and creates a lot of new opportunities. I don't remember the author, but it was amazing TED talk by one of the professors that was talking about what will happen in the world when machines will take over our jobs, okay? So multiple countries right now around the globe experimenting with something that's called universal income, something that universal income.
Okay.
Something that technically, from the really, really high level perspective, government takes responsibility to provide minimum necessary funds to people that will allow them to rent an apartment, buy groceries, some dressing, like kind of minimum impact. And he was touching this during this TED talk.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I really love this presentation there, because based on his declaration, and I really share the statement, after 3, 4 months, 6 months, when people will start living in a mode that they will lose the fear, what should I do? Where should I take the bucks to pay for my rent? What should I do now? Like where they will lose the fear that they're going to be fired and they will get no salaries to pay for education or anything. Mm. When we will eliminate this fear from our minds, the creativity will kick in. And I would say the new era of Renaissance will come. People will start writing books, will create music. We will discover a lot of new painters. Like it's going to be absolutely new era.
Yes.
And nobody stops us to keep working. Okay. But again, like when right now, a lot of people in the world, like it's fascinating. I was reading somewhere that we have millions of people in the world right now that barely survive on the $2 a day. Mm. So the poverty is crazy.
Yes.
But on another end, when technology brings new opportunities, and let's take a look on this, like what the numbers were there, like what the Microsoft declared?
129 million.
New opportunities.
Yes, new.
Where to take those people that will know the technology?
Yes.
They will start learning. Okay, yes. So it will trigger a lot. Like it will trigger the education, different education life cycle,
yes.
Different things that we're going to learn in the schools and universities. By the way, COVID right now demonstrated to the entire world that yes, we can learn in the schools remotely. Yes, we can learn in universities remotely. And yes, universities still didn't adjust too much their fees, but they will be forced to do this.
Yes.
Okay. So because of the all this remote work, suddenly we can see probably next year or two that acceptance rate to universities going to be like much higher. Much more people will be able to adopt, to accept, will be able to allow to themselves to pay for education. Mm. And yes, like probably in 5 years, 10 years next, we will get those millions of new jobs in technology. Okay. So I'm not afraid if robots will take over some position. Like I don't want people work hard. Why? Why we need to do something like drastically like difficult if we spent 2,000 years on evolution trying to create something new.
Yeah, you're very right. Just to make more use of our brains and creativity rather than to make use
muscles.
Exactly. And you make a very good point, Misha, and especially the loss of fear increases creativity, and especially again with blockchain and for example in my area, the HR, one of the things that we are envisioning is that we should hire people with new roles and potentially are going to be created based on their roles and responsibility, based on their skills and capabilities. So meaning that why we should recruit or hire a person based on Rebeca Fernandez coming from Spain and she's dark hair. No, we should recruit a person because he or she is innovative with this percentage of whatever. We ask what skills we need and capabilities, and that person will come. We will bring that in, or we will have that person starting with us, and to reach that level of creativity or innovation or whatever, he or she needs to do this, this, and that. So I think that's how the world should be leading. And you are very right in that, Misha, that it is to take to change the mindset again, to be digital.
It's all about mindset. I believe it's all about mindset. Everything starts there.
Yes, and think that technology is here for helping us to be more creative, to develop our brain, and to use our skills and capabilities that we have as humans. Because we have something different between us and the animals. We have brain, and we can think.
We should think.
It was great, and of course, I mean, one of the program is of course solving gender inequality, and you also touch base about education. And I read an article a few months ago in the BBC that I think they were saying that around, and I'm sure that that figure is even higher, around 115 billion of girls in the world, they don't have access to basic education. So you touch base about education, and the cycle is going to change. And we have now a beautiful, amazing tool, which is blockchain, which, funny enough, it's accessible. It can be accessed to emerging countries for giving opportunities to these girls and boys around the world that potentially they don't have even access to education. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Absolutely. And you know what? I do see even the changes right now already happening. Like prior to this call, I asked myself, okay, I want to do some checkup. So just guess, I went to start to go through statistics. Who is coming to our website? Okay, countries, people, like so. As you know, like today we can get access to like really sometimes crazy statistics. For me, it was a big aha moment to see that 42% of visitors to our website were like deep dive tech, where I'm talking about like blockchain mostly. It was women.
Wow.
42%.
That's good.
So I remember like 20 years ago, like in IT field, not that I'm proud about this, but it was the reality. It was mostly dominated by men.
Yeah.
Okay. Even though like I remember like amazing experts that were doing amazing projects. That wasn't men. So organizations driven, IT departments was driven by women. So it was there. But again, like majority was like men. Now I was really surprised to see, and like it's a good sign. 42% of visitors. And I'm like, no, it's good. Like it's hard to believe. So I started to like really page down, and extend the statistics range. Okay, that like, and I went back almost for a year, and I'm like, wow, I do see tendency, and it's growing and growing. 42%.
That's good.
Like it's really good. It's a good sign that people getting like we are kind of eliminating the barriers. Why like I never understood this, by the way, like why we need to have some sort of barriers. Why I'm not getting a particular project just because of my unique British accent? Come on. It shouldn't be the case. Okay. So as you said, everything should be about capabilities. Exactly. And I would say mindset as well.
Yes.
Because if we're open to grow, if we're open to learn, if we're open to develop ourselves, why we need to have any barriers? Is it a gender, if it's a color, if it's an accent, if it's whatever, like who cares? Like it's a different world. Like I see right now, again, like as a result of COVID, I just had a really interesting conversation about 2 weeks ago with one of the companies in US. And the conversation was like really interesting. The company acquired another company, and they wanted this. They were so proud. They said to employees outside of United States, like, "Oh, we can help you to relocate to US. We will take care on all the visa processes, all that stuff." And it was so interesting. People said, "We don't want to move to US. Like COVID demonstrated to you guys that we can work remotely from anywhere.
Yes.
So if you will think about it, right now with the new technology, again, we're coming back in the circles to the technology. We can work from any location in the world. We can do whatever we want. And you know what? I do believe that soon we will be living in a virtual world and we will talk to Avatar. And actually there's already a company that developed the avatars for Zoom.
Mm.
So I can switch right now to Avatar, and this avatar will repeat my movements, my emotions, everything, but it's going to be Avatar. Who knows, maybe I will choose tomorrow avatar that will represent me as the alien.
Mm.
Now go in and identify my gender even. So it's changing. The technology going to change like our life really drastically in a good way. And I do believe that technology will help to eliminate anything related to any sort of discrimination.
Yes.
Okay, it doesn't matter what kind of discrimination. I do believe that technology is probably the best weapon to fight this discrimination around the world. And in different parts of the world, we can observe different level of discrimination, but it's still discrimination. And I do believe that technology will help with this, and blockchain going to play probably not the last role in this fight against discrimination, for sure, like firm believer.
Yes, and I fully agree, and we are actually in the same type of mindset, and I'm glad, because that's what we are fighting for justice, and blockchain is here, technology, and I think we are in the perfect opportunity and moment to do so. And any final thoughts, Misha, before we close our amazing session? I will spend the whole day talking with you, but everything comes to an end.
I don't know, like I would really encourage people to think sometimes about possibilities and do not reflect to the past. Okay, I believe that past blocks us from moving forward. Okay, and on Monday, I had another really interesting conversation with probably one of the smartest people in the world in banking industry and digital transformation. So, he said really interesting stuff. He said, we as a human need to develop capabilities to unlearn unnecessary stuff.
That's good, yes.
Right? Think about it, like our brain is like a hard disk. We have limited capacity there. Why we need to keep in mind something that was relevant 20 years ago?
Mm.
Why? Like we need to develop capabilities to unlearn stuff, to allow ourselves to get open to the new possibilities. So this is what I believe we need to get to. Okay, and we need to learn to do that, and really think about future. Only focus on the future. What future can look like in 2 years from now, 5 years from now, and what we can do to achieve it faster. Okay, and do not focus on what was in the past. It doesn't matter. It brings, in many cases, it brings zero value. It just disturbs us. So this is what kind of my thoughts, and go from there.
And that's amazing thoughts. I do totally echo what you just said. Thank you so much, Misa. It was
I just got some questions in Zoom. So
yeah,
maybe we need to take a look.
Yes, you're right. Here we go. So we have someone called Ader that says, I'm enjoying the total interesting points of view too. Marley Vale saying, how do you solve this issue of inequality in a region where blockchain is not yet adopted? That's a question.
It's challenging, and right now, like probably we start with education, to be honest. Yes. Okay. Whenever there is like blockchain is not adopted, or another technology is not adopted there, so we need to start with education. It's probably the most appropriate way to do this. Like we need to go and bring the knowledge and demonstrate why this particular technology gonna help. Okay, what the real value, what the value to organizations, what the value for people, what the value to the society in general. So it's a lot of education. It's really bring the knowledge and explain and probably kind of we need to demonstrate, okay, here how it was done in other regions. This is the results. This is the projections. Let's try. And we need to understand also that it's not going to be like big bang approach. It will take time, okay? It takes time. Nobody will switch to blockchain overnight. Like none. I believe we have 0 organizations in the world, enterprises, or governments that will switch to new technology. Doesn't matter if it's a blockchain or not, overnight. No, it requires time. It's planning, it's preparation, validation. It takes time. Okay, so we need to educate. It's like kid, right? When we have a newborn baby, nobody expects that in next 2 days this baby will finish the Oxford University. No, we're growing the baby, we're educating the baby, we're teaching this baby, we're showing the examples. For example, how to use fork, okay, how to walk, how we're teaching this baby to read, and then we teach this baby to think and and use the brain to solve mathematical problems, so things like that, right? So it's the same. It starts with education, and I do believe that people like you, Rebecca, like me, we need to step in and help to bring this knowledge. Okay, if we already got this knowledge and we believe it's there, and if it's really truly passion belief, we just need to go and share it. And this is what I do. Okay, like you said, I'm doing a lot of activities. At some point, I kind of realized that it's like we need to do something, and why should I expect that somebody else will do it? I'll do it. So yeah, I believe it's education will help. I hope we answered this, right?
Yes, I think you answered very well and very nicely, very well described. And actually, I'm totally agree with you, Misha. It's create education, awareness. As you mentioned, not all the countries are in the same level of adoption, but it's okay. We can learn from other countries that they are in a different level, on a higher maturity level. And it takes time. And as you mentioned, people like you and I, we are doing exactly this, trying to create awareness for the people to say that it's possible. And I also want to add something to Marley, that blockchain is quite easy. That you don't have to go through a university. You don't have to go to a university to learn how to use blockchain. And it's also coming with self-confidence about that. So you can actually be that person that can start doing the blockchain yourself. So I will add
Absolutely.
that. I will add that
Absolutely.
to your last thought, Misha. So I don't know that there's no more questions. So I will say that thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Misha. It was absolutely
thank you guys
today
for having me here. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Misha. And for everyone who's watching us, my next program will be on the 3rd of September. So I will see you all there at 12 p.m. UK time. And yes, so thank you so much. Have a great day.